What's going on, guys? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, guys? We're going to go ahead and get started in a few minutes. TJ is going to be here. He's just running a little bit late. We'll be here in about 10 minutes or so. Yeah, so happy NBA is back, guys. I am so happy. I'll talk to you about that in just a second here. NBA is back. Yes, I'm excited. I'm just as excited as you guys are. The players went on vacation, and so did we. Feels like it anyway. It felt like forever. I'll tell you what, those All-Star games were actually pretty fun to watch. More specifically, the last All-Star game, the Rising Star game I'm not really talking about, but the All-Star game, guys. How did you guys like that fourth quarter? That was awesome. I mean, it was literally like they were playing in the NBA Finals or something. They were playing all out. What really stunk, though, is for DK. They kept Lowry in there, sucking up minutes from Trae Young. That was bogus. But besides that, I mean, it was fun to watch. Very fun to watch. TJ will be here in just a second, guys, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Well, I'll start without him. He'll be here in about 10 minutes. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm going to go ahead and get started. So as we know, Simmons just got ruled out, so we will be breaking that injury news, or we will be going over that injury news in just a second here. The injury news on the slate in general kind of opened up a ton of value, but this just opened up more. So we're going to go ahead and break that down. For everybody that is new to the stream, thank you so much for the support. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that notification bell. We do this every single day before lock, and we have a blast. Also, near the end of the stream, we'll be providing Thrive Fantasy plays. They are player props for you guys who don't know how to play Thrive Fantasy. Please go give my video a view. Again, it's more free money for you guys. We're going to be giving away free picks. So it's kind of similar to other DFS platforms in the sense that you pick a player, but you pick player props. So you pick a specific player's stats to go over or under a certain number, and we'll be giving you all of those picks for you. If you haven't already, to sign up, please use DG Fantasy as your promo code to sign up. And if you deposit more than $20, you get a $20 bonus. Okay, so we'll be giving out free picks at the end of the stream, but let's go ahead and dive right into DraftKings, because DraftKings, guys, there is an edge. Of course, we still are waiting for the minutes to update here with Philly. I'm going to check back again. Yeah, Ben Simmons isn't out of the player pool, so we will go ahead and revisit that. But first, let's start with the chalk. Let's go over to Chicago, because Chicago we talked about in our early video. Thank you for the shout out, Keith. Thank you so much. We went over Chicago with their value plays, because their value has opened up. As you guys know, their injury news report looks disgusting every single time, but now more so than ever, Chris Dunn, Markkanen, Wendell Carter, Hutchinson is out, which Hutchinson usually isn't out, but he is out for now. Otto Porter's out, and so is Valentine. So with all those guys off the court, it opens up a ton of usage, it opens up a ton of minutes, and there's a lot of value here. So let's go ahead and just look down the list here. Shaq Harrison, 36% ownership at 3K, playing 26 minutes. The guy averages close to a fantasy point per minute. No, it's over a fantasy point per minute in a good matchup. So this guy is fairly productive. We know that Charlotte's defense is going to be very, very soft tonight in particular, especially since they're playing away. Chicago's actually not in a bad spot here. 108's not that bad going against Charlotte. Like I said, they have a very soft defense, a great matchup here. Shaq Harrison is going to be your best value play on the entire slate, and I can say this without TJ even being here, which he will be here in about 10 minutes or so. That's going to be our biggest lock for the slate is Shaq Harrison. And look, speaking of the devil, hey, we're on stream.
I know, you don't have to tell me that. You just don't want to be mean.
There we go. What's up?
Hi.
Hi.
What's up?
I literally just started, so
Hey, everybody.
I literally just started breaking down the Bulls. And I'm sure you, yeah, it was just in time. I'm sure you saw Philly, right?
I have not.
Simmons is out.
Yeah.
Is he? So I told the stream that we're going to be providing Thrive Fantasy picks here at the end of the stream. So I already crunched a bunch of numbers for him. And I gave him the promo code to sign up. And we're going to be going over that, guys, at the very end of the stream. Like I said, if you haven't already signed up, DG Fantasy. So to go back,
there's already a free. Tonight's a good night to get started because there's a free win on it.
Yep.
Or there's a free player prop that they're not editing. So
yeah. So like I said, guys, there's an edge even in Thrive Fantasy. Always an edge with us.
Wait, so they still have Ben Simmons up here too. So there's 2 edges.
Yep. So I was gonna go over that, and plus I have 3 more. So we really have a full. We have a lot of picks to go around. We have 5 picks. All right. Shaq Harrison. So like I was saying, TJ didn't even have to be here for us to.
Keep going.
TJ didn't have to be here for me to say he's going to be our cash lock for tonight. Shaq Harrison at 3K is still the best value on the slate by far in a good matchup. 50% smash percentage, 8.5 here. It was even more inflated on our sheet. I left it just because we averaged like 1.4 minutes or 1.4 fantasy points per minute in like the very small sample size. So that didn't make sense. I just left it. Regardless, he's the best value on the slate by far. Going down the list, Sadaransky averages 1.02 fantasy points per minute. Again, I wouldn't be too worried about the pace here. Like I said, all the usage and all these minutes are going to get bumped to all these players here. 5K is just way too cheap for Sadaransky at 32 minutes. He's going to be playing starter minutes against Charlotte. 6.5 on a sheet. Zach LaVine is another stud we're going to target. 9.2. I got a message earlier saying, does Zach LaVine's price tag scare me? Not at all when you're talking about the highest usage guy here on Chicago. Definitely a volatile player, but again, just all the usage and minutes are going all over the place to all these guys. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes for 50 plus tonight. Could easily do so. Sadaransky's going to be right there with them as far as the offense of production goes. So those are going to be the 2 guys I'm going to be targeting from that offense. Again, Kobe White is also a great play here. 32 minutes, not as productive as these other players that I mentioned, but still good value here at 4.7K. I'm going to be a little bit lower percentage ownership wise. Gafford here at 20 minutes. You guys know me in the low minutes. That's a one player I'm kind of iffy on, but again, I'll have some exposure to him in GPPs. He's definitely not going to be cash viable at 20 minutes. Cornette, 25 minutes. Again, another GPP option. I can keep going down the list here. Thaddeus Young, not a bad play, but he's going to probably be my least favorite of these starters, and guys getting a majority of these minutes here. But yeah, the Bulls are the team to target for value, just period. Harrison, Sadaransky. You can even throw Kobe White in the mix. LaVine, some of my favorite plays. TJ, what do you have to add to that?
I agree with everything you said. I wouldn't be scared off of LaVine's price tag. He rates out very well on our sheet and is very productive with all those injuries that they have. Gets a high usage bump. He's a high fantasy point per minute guy with everybody off the court. So I wouldn't be afraid of his price tag tonight.
Yeah, sorry, I was drinking. Absolutely. I think Sadaransky is actually going to go overlooked here at 17% ownership is what he's showing now. And we know that he averages over a fantasy point per minute. Again, 5K just doesn't make too much sense to me. I think he'll even get more of a bump here because if you just look at their offensive unit here, it's pretty bad. I mean, there's not really too many people to look at here besides Thaddeus Young and LaVine. So I definitely am all aboard the Bulls train, especially for value. Do you want to go ahead and just start updating values for Philly now, or do you want to just keep going?
That's
what
I was just doing, and I was waiting for them to update minutes because the one guy I am curious about is somebody that hasn't really played a lot for them is Alec Burks. He's only played 1 game since the trade. Played 14 minutes against the Clippers. His projection right now is 24 minutes. I would assume he gets a decent amount of run now with Simmons being out.
Even if 24 minutes is a thing, that's 3.6K. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, not a cash play, but like in terms of GPPs against Brooklyn, like it's a really good matchup for them. for guards specifically against Brooklyn. So I was very interested to see what his minute bump would be like. And 24 is, I mean, that's pretty good for somebody of his stature at 3'6". So
I'm drawing a blank. Is Embiid the only guy out for? Oh, why did I say Embiid? I meant Simmons. That's who I meant. Is he the only one out? And it's Ennis.
James Ennis, yeah, traded him.
That's right. That's who I was forgetting. I knew I was forgetting somebody.
So this actually puts Embiid's a 1.62 fantasy point per minute without Simmons off the court and gets a 4.3% usage bump. So with the matchup against Brooklyn and now Simmons out, that makes Embiid a cash lock for me.
1.62. You are right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going to crunch some numbers here. Do you want to keep talking about that lineup while I'm doing that?
Yeah. So, I mean, all these guys, the 5 studs of Philly, Embiid, Simmons, Harris, Horford, and Richardson. With Simmons off the court, those 4 guys all are very good plays now in terms of value. Embiid gets a 4.3% usage bump. Harris only gets a 1.1%. Al Horford gets a 5.2%. And Josh Richardson gets about a 1% usage bump. Like I said, Embiid 1.62 fantasy points per minute with Simmons off the court. He's going to be a cash lock for me now. Tobias Harris 1.06, Horford 1.07, Richardson only a 0.87. So like all these guys are really good plays now, especially with Simmons off the court in a good matchup against Brooklyn. Embiid and Richardson would be the 2 that I would go to, but like Horford at 5K against Brooklyn is a 6.3 on our sheet. I definitely like him now for GPPs. I don't know if I'll have him in cash, but I mean, him and Harris are definitely pretty good plays now at 6.4 and 5K. So definitely some things are moving because the Simmons is out. And the one guy I was interested in was Alec Burks. He was projected at 16 minutes. Played 14 in his opening game against the Clippers. So if he gets 24 at 3.6, I'd be interested to see if he starts. I doubt he does. I feel like they I don't know if they're going to put Richardson at point guard and start Thibault now. So we'll have to wait and see what their starting lineup is when they come out with it. But, I mean, if Alec Burks draws the start, that's definitely interesting. And as a cash perspective, I don't know if he will, like I said. So we'll definitely have to wait and see.
You said you said how many minutes did he get when he played? He only got 14 minutes. Alec Burks when he played. Yeah.
Yeah, just coming off the bench. He played, against the Clippers.
So 24 is, I think that's a reasonable number. I think I'm going to tag him as like a 1 fantasy point per minute player just from what he looked like when he played in Golden State. I think that's what's up?
The only thing I would be I just spilled Gatorade all over my pants.
Nice.
The one thing I'd be careful with is like I don't know if it hurts or helps him because if he's going to be the dominant ball handler when he's on the court now, if he's playing point guard, when he was doing that at Golden State, he was way more aggressive because he was the best playmaker that they had when he was on the court. So now he's surrounded by guys like Embiid, Harris, Horford, Richardson, other guys that can make plays. So I don't necessarily know if that helps or hurts him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The one thing, well, first of all, he's projected at 13 fantasy points, which is unreal. That's very low. So I think regardless, I'm going to be a little bit exposed to him. I'm definitely not going to be overly aggressive on him. Maybe throw him in a few lineups just because he's probably not going to be that high owned. But yeah, definitely a sneaky GPP option. When you look down the list here, I'm basically agreeing with everything you said. I think Josh Richardson is the most obvious just because of his price tag here, 4.2K. Obviously, Embiid with his ownership is the most obvious for cash, but Richardson could easily fit into that cash build 100%. And like you said, Horford here, I know the percentage ownership hasn't been updated yet, but 7%, he's probably not going to be that much higher just because he is coming off the bench. But yeah, I think Horford could be another sneaky play. And then I love my boy Tobias Harris every single time. I just feel like he's, just with his minutes, he's always out there. Always has chances to get his production up. So I do like him. It's funny, Roto and our sheet exactly agree with his fantasy point output to the exact decimal point. So 35.2 is what we have him tagged here at, 5.5 on Roto. So I think I don't think you stack Philly per se because there's so much value in the Chicago game, but you could definitely grab your core here now with Embiid. I like him a lot more now. I was saying in our video And I was just saying in general, he might be a good pivot just for GPPs because there's so many center options. But now it's kind of hard to fade Embiid. It's going to be very difficult to see where the percentage ownership goes with him. So, yeah. But let's go ahead and start moving down the line there. We've already covered Chicago and Philly. And I feel like if you're not starting there, you're doing it wrong tonight. I know Miami's another intriguing team, so I guess we can move there.
Yeah.
Okay. So with Miami, we know I have to look at their injury report here. Oh, and we also have to look at Houston. Myers Leonard, Hero, and Alexander. So Derek Jones is actually pretty intriguing here. 24 minutes is not that bad of a fantasy point per minute player. 4K could easily be a very good GPP option here. 1% ownership. Again, it's a pace-up spot, a very big pace-up spot here versus Atlanta. I do like Derek Jones strictly for GPPs. Andre Iguodala here, 22 minutes, 5.9, not a bad value as well. 3.5K or 3.3K. And then Dragic, he just keeps rating well on our sheet here. 5.7K, 31. 5.8 on our sheet. Again, all these guys have tremendous upside, and we can't forget about Jimmy Butler and, of course, Adebayo. They're really all viable in this type of game pace. I guess the decision is going to have to be made here. Are you going to go Philly, or are you going to go Miami for some of your mid-tier to pay-up options? What are your thoughts on Miami?
So I know we talked about it last night on the video that we put out. They had Derek Jones projected at an absurd number last night. In terms of minutes, I think they had him pegged at 30.
32.
Yeah, which was pretty insane. So the 24 definitely seems like more of a suitable number for him. In terms of cash, I mean, the two guys I'm looking at obviously are Jimmy and Bam. I think Jimmy's going to be severely chalky, and I think I'd rather go with Butler over Bam tonight against Atlanta. Although if you land on either of them, I definitely don't hate it. I'm going to do my best to roster Jimmy in cash. And like I said, if you land on Jimmy as a last piece, if you land on Bam as a last piece, I definitely think that is viable. You mentioned Dragic. I definitely like Dragic at 5'7". It's a good matchup against Atlanta. A little bit of a pace-up spot here for Miami on the road. Rates out at a 5'7" on our sheet, 1.06 fantasy point per minute with Hero off the court. So more of a GPP play for me. And then Jay Crowder's played very well for Miami since he got there. Didn't have as strong as a game against Utah, but those first two games he played, he was an absolute monster. Price tag came up a little bit since those first two. He's at 5K now. I don't hate him, but I think in terms of cash, I'm looking at Jimmy and Bam, and then for GPPs, I'd be looking at Dragic.
So somebody just said in their chat that Josh Richardson is starting at point guard, so that's pretty substantial.
Is that confirmed though?
That's what chat is saying, but you guys are all over the place, so I don't know if that's definitely confirmed. Not. Is that confirmed? So can you guys confirm that? Can we have more checks on that, please?
Yeah, there hasn't been anything that came out yet, so I wouldn't.
Okay.
I would take that with a grain of salt. I don't know. Maybe they start. Maybe they start Burks. I don't know. I don't necessarily see them. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and
thank you, Todd, for the subscription.
But I definitely like Butler and his price tag. It's a great matchup too against Atlanta. So
it sounds like you're going to try to get Jimmy Butler in there no matter what.
Yeah, I have him in my lineup right now.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. And then Bam. I know Bam was one of my pivots off of Embiid because he's also in a really good spot here. 7.8 is just starting to get pretty cheap for Bam. I'm not saying he's a pivot anymore, but definitely another viable option at the center position. All right, so let's move down the line. I want to talk about Houston because I love Houston and these small rotations, and especially since they're playing small ball now, and a lot more value opened up. I don't know if you got a chance to crunch the numbers, TJ. I crunched them in Discord, and I crunched them on the YouTube video. I put a pinned post on who my favorite plays are. So what this is going to look like now is obviously James Harden and Westbrook. That's going to be the most obvious plays here out of Houston. All the usage is going to go to them. Harden averages 1.76 fantasy points per minute with Eric Gordon and Capella off the court, so his usage did not change, not substantially. Same thing can be said with Westbrook. They don't really change too much. Really, the minutes are affected with these guys in the lower with the lower price tags here. So Macklemore gets a bump here to 26 minutes. Austin River gets a bump to 25 minutes. And then House gets a bump here to 33. So I actually need to calculate that again because he was showing 31 a little bit earlier. So Macklemore shows the best on our sheet. 26 minutes, 3.4K. We know he can ball out. If he gets hot, again, percentage ownership is super low on these guys. It's going to be a very, very high pace-up game for Houston just because, like I said, small ball, and they're playing against the Warriors. They're absolutely horrible in defense. Macklemore, if he gets hot, I really do like him in GPPs. We know our take on Tucker. Just put him in and pray because you never know what he's going to do. But Tucker playing 35 minutes, obviously you can't turn away from that. Another good GPP option. He's showing a little bit higher owned than Macklemore, and I see why just because of his 35 minutes. But I do like Tucker for GPP. And then again, if you want to take a stab at Austin Rivers, 3.1K, I do like Macklemore better. And of course, my favorite pay-up option on the slate, I'm going to keep saying it, Harden is still my favorite, and especially now with this very thin rotation, I'm going to get a lot of Covington questions. Yes, I like Covington, but again, his production didn't really get affected by these injuries, and he's showing at 48% owned right now. So for GPPs, I really don't like him that much, okay, because 48% is very, very high. I like some of these other value plays on Houston. TJ, do you have an opinion on this Houston roster?
So I had my year review today at work, so I didn't even know that Gordon got ruled out.
Yeah.
So I had Gordon still in. So I'm looking at this now and updating my numbers.
Okay.
I mean, yeah,
it's pretty straightforward.
Harden's a 5.9 on our sheet. I definitely like him as a pay-up spot. I don't know if I'll get there in cash. Because I definitely have other guards that I like tonight for value with rostering Embiid and paying up for him at center. Where is PJ Tucker? 0.59 fantasy points per minute. There is.
It's curious. I wonder what his fantasy points look or per minute wise look whenever they have a very thin rotation. I know it's probably not that much better, but probably is a little bit better. I would assume. I hope for his well-being.
Yeah. Macklemore definitely more of a GPP play just because we know how volatile he is, especially he can get hot and he's not afraid to shoot, but very, very scoring dependent. Yep. So that's the one thing that I would. I mean, my girlfriend's on the couch just asked what I was doing. Is Chris Clemens logging any minutes? What's his deal? He's not even.
They're not. It's on the player pool, so. And he hasn't been ever since he got ruled out.
Yeah. So I mean, Harden pay up spot definitely. I really like Covington. So I kind of think Covington's a cash lock for me. I mean, just the minutes have been absolutely insane. He's played well so far since they've acquired him from Minnesota. So good matchup against Golden State. So I definitely like Covington in terms of cash, but GPPs, I really like Harden.
Yeah. Oh, voice crack. Yeah, no, I really do. I agree with that. And like I said, with Covington at 48% and tourneys, that's just scary to me. Just the ownership from an ownership perspective. So I think these Chicago guys could easily match that. Again, some of these mid like Thaddeus Young could easily go off tonight. So again, like if you want to pivot off of Covington, I won't hate you for GPPs. Let's see here. Going down the list, have we not covered Detroit? We can talk about Detroit. Let's do that.
Oh, you talked about Detroit?
I haven't yet. Let's talk about it now.
Detroit. I can't stand the way you say Detroit.
Detroit?
Detroit.
No.
You say Detroit. It's Detroit. Hey,
Detroit.
We're gonna cover Detroit.
I'm sorry.
It's Detroit. Say it like.
It's not Detroit. It's Detroit. It's DE. Detroit.
Yeah, I know.
It's not Detroit.
But you say it's stupid.
Okay.
Stupid.
Okay.
You're an idiot.
So Derrick Rose here. 7.1 on our sheet, 5.9. I think he's a very obvious play tonight.
He play on?
He plays on the Pistons. He plays 30 minutes for the Pistons. 7.1 point per dollar value.
Or the Pistons.
The Pistons. No,
Pistons,
whatever.
Yeah.
All right, get over yourself.
Come on, Nat.
Derrick Rose, 30 minutes, 7.1 point per dollar value. Obviously averages 1.39 fantasy points per minute. Obviously, Reggie Jackson's out of the picture for good now. So Derrick Rose's price tag will never be this low again. I can almost guarantee that. As long as he's getting minutes. So 30 minutes, again, more of a GPP play, but guys, I'm telling you right now, this is an unbelievable price tag for Derrick Rose if they can keep it close. That's the main thing because they're playing Milwaukee and Milwaukee with Giannis. Okay, so this is going to carry some blowout potential. I'm not scared of it. I'm taking my risk on Derrick Rose tonight. Bruce Brown, also another great play. 5.2. He's not that great of a fantasy point per minute player with these current injuries off the court. But 5.9 is definitely not that bad. At 6% ownership, not a bad GPP option. Christian Wood also averages 1.26 fantasy points per minute. If they can keep it close, I see him carrying a decent... Well, he's actually carrying 23% ownership. It's actually not that... He's not that bad of a play at all. Again, not a bad pivot if you want to pivot off of some of these chalkier center plays. But 6.9, he's still... the man here for the center option, or for the center here in Detroit. Yeah, I said it. I was trying to avoid saying it. And then McCore, TJ. Also not a bad GPP play. If they do get blown out, we know he's going to get extended run here at 25 minutes. So, all right, somebody's saying Detroit, so somebody's agreeing with you. And somebody's saying Detroit. Okay, so now we got a debate going.
It was Anker, dude. He's just saying the same thing. Someone said Detroit. Whatever. You guys are dumb. Everybody's dumb. It's Detroit. It's Detroit.
You just said it my way, so
doesn't matter. Okay. So yeah, the Pistons. I'm actually really surprised. Like, I get the matchup, and the matchup sucks for them. Obviously, playing Milwaukee. They're 13-point dogs, so that's pretty tough. But like, this could be
if they keep it close, these guys have tremendous upside. I'm just going to say that.
I feel like we do this every time when it comes to Detroit. Like, we're like, oh, yeah, they're 14-point dogs. Like, they're going to get smoked playing Milwaukee or playing Boston or, playing the Lakers. And it's like, 110, 104. And it's like competitive game. Rose played 31 minutes. So, like, if this is a game that it can somehow be competitive and Derrick Rose plays 31 minutes, I love him. Absolutely love him. He rates out very well on our sheet. He's only 5'9", no Reggie Jackson. Obviously no Drummond, no Blake Griffin. So, I mean, I really like Rose. I think he's more of a GPP play right now, just based off of his ownership. But like 3% usage bump with those guys off the court, 1.39 fantasy point per minute, like 5.9 price tag. It doesn't make sense. I know he's coming back from injury and like he hadn't played in he hasn't played in basically 3 weeks because he played against Orlando, only played 17 minutes. So it is scary. But, he just had a week off for the All-Star break. I'm assuming he's fully healthy now because he did come back and play before the All-Star break. So if he does get those allotted 30 minutes, I'm going to be overweight on Derrick Rose in terms of GPPs. I don't know if he's going to make my cash lineup. Christian Wood at 6'9", like if they're going to stay competitive in this game, it's going to be because of Christian Wood. It's going to be because of Derrick Rose, because of Bruce Brown. So those are the guys that need to produce in order for this game to be competitive. So those are the guys that I'm looking at to roster. Christian Wood could definitely find his way into my cash lineup. I'm staring at him right now. 6'9", great value. Obviously a very tough matchup against Milwaukee. But if they can get up and down the court and stay somewhat competitive, I definitely think he can pay off that 6'9" price tag. Averages 1.27 fantasy points per minute. He's been great since they got rid of Drummond, as everybody knows. So I definitely like Christian Wood. And yeah, I think Bruce Brown rates out pretty well on our sheet too. He's not as productive in terms of fantasy points per minute, but the minutes are going to be there for him. And yeah, those are really the only three guys I'm looking at. Like Mikhailuk could get hot. Like that could be a guy that could go for, 20 points tonight, hit some threes, definitely pay off his 3.2 price tag. He's projected at 25 minutes. I mean, he could be in there even if this game is a blowout. So I definitely don't hate him for GPPs. But yeah, I'm definitely looking at Christian Wood and Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose, GPPs, I want to be overweight on. Christian Wood definitely could find his way into my cash lineup. So that's kind of what I'm thinking with Detroit. And, all this could just, this could be over at halftime. So that's the one scary thing. But that's what happens when you go against Milwaukee. I feel like they can blow out any team at any time. So you got to just go with the numbers and trust that Detroit can somehow stay competitive.
And that's why we are saying GPP plays. So again, like
I don't hate Christian Wood for cash.
Yeah, I think Christian Wood's the only exception.
The one thing I'm afraid of is foul trouble if he's covering Giannis.
Yeah.
So
I can agree with that.
That's the only concern really that I have, because we've seen Christian Wood get into foul trouble, and going up against a guy like Giannis, like that's Giannis puts you in uncomfortable situations when he's running full steam at you and Euro steps from the 3-point line and can still lay the ball up. So, it's a tough matchup. So that's something you got to take into consideration.
For everybody asking questions in the chat, be patient. We will answer them in just a few minutes here. We're going to go over just the overall slate, and hopefully we answer your questions. So again, if you guys have questions, ask them in the chat. We will get to them. I promise. All right, and then any more teams? I know Sacramento we haven't touched base on. Do you want to?
Hey, Matt, real quick, can you just look in the comments and see what Adam Bullock said?
Yeah, no, I saw that, and I was avoiding bringing it up. Yep.
Okay, continue.
Oh man, if I could punch you through the screen, I would. All right, so Sacramento. Let's talk about Sacramento because I know you like Sacramento tonight. And I think what's up?
One guy.
Yeah, one guy. Well, we can just talk about him then. De'Aaron Fox here, 7.4. Again, definitely gonna be more of a cash play. Playing in the pace-up spot. Obviously, anybody who plays against Memphis is usually in the pace-up spot. I do like De'Aaron Fox. I know I'm not as high on him as you are, just because there's so many mid-range options, man. Like if you're talking about Jimmy Butler for $500 more, I do like him a lot more. But I do like De'Aaron Fox. I would only play him if I'm playing him in cash. I think he's a good cash play. What do you have to say about Fox?
I love him tonight. Real good spot against Memphis. 7-4, way too cheap for him. I expect him to be super aggressive against John Morant. So I really like Fox in this spot at 7-4. He's definitely going to be in my cash lineup. The one thing that is interesting is right now their projected lineup is Bielisa at center. So it doesn't even it looks like Giles is coming off the bench. So that's kind of interesting because Bielisa's been, he's normally plays the 4. So it looks like Sacramento's going small tonight. Their projected lineup is Fox, Corey Joseph, Bogdy, Barnes, and Bielisa. So that's a pretty small lineup. So I expect them to try and run the floor. I guess you can run the court. Yeah, it makes sense. I expect them to run the floor court against them. So, yeah. So I mean, if they're gonna play small, I expect them to get up and down quick. So guys, I definitely like Fox.
We have to knock the rust off. We're sorry. We apologize.
Well, that was all over the place because I'm an idiot, so
it's all good. But yeah, no, I agree with you. I think Bielisa is another decent play. Like, there's so many options. Well, wasn't he able to play center before, or no?
He's big enough.
Crazy?
So I mean, yeah.
No, I'm talking about for DK. Wasn't he able to play power forward center?
So this is what I was gonna mention. So Butler now is only point guard and shooting guard eligible when he was shooting guard, small forward eligible. So DraftKings definitely went back in the All-Star break and made some modifications because I'm also 99% positive that you used to have the option to play Marquise Chris at center and power forward, but now he's only center. So they definitely went back and made some changes in terms of what they have for positions for players.
Why are they?
Because I was trying to put because I have a lot of guards I like tonight, so I was like, oh, sweet. I already know I'm going to be able to put Butler at small forward tonight because I don't have as many guys that I love at small forward. I can't. So
here's the thing. Why, at the center position, why DraftKings, from a DraftKings standpoint, are you limiting the position even more? If you're taking away Chris's power forward eligibility, now you're just making it even harder for us to choose centers. That's pretty annoying. But
I'm pretty sure on FanDuel you can only choose one, right?
Yeah, well,
yeah. So
I've roasted FanDuel enough times in my life.
I don't know how people play that.
Oh, you're gonna get so many people mad in the chat here.
What? They play FanDuel?
Yeah.
FanDuel's trash. You can't get off of late swap. Like, why would you ever torment yourself like that? I don't understand. Because you can drop a guy?
Yeah, that's not a thing anymore.
So you can't drop guys, and then the slate locks, and then after injury news, you're screwed. Like,
yeah,
I guess you can find an edge in terms of like
anticipate
stances on guys that are doubtful, or like hoping they play, and or guys that are questionable that a lot of people think are going to be.
That adds a whole nother dynamic. Like,
yeah, I mean, that's kind of interesting. Tough. But like even still, like with DraftKings, you have the option to.
I've made so much money off of late swaps, so I'm never going to change. Never.
Yeah, I'd so much rather have the ability to late swap than not. But like, I guess I do understand it. I don't know. No, I don't. It's stupid. No,
all right. Stupid. I'm going to start breaking down my favorite plays, TJ. We have about 20 minutes. I'm going to go through the questions too. Unless you want to unless you want to jump around some of these other plays. I don't really see anybody else.
Yeah, you want me to
rapid
go
fire
on a quick tyrant?
We need to have this as part of this segment. TJ's rapid fire. Go.
Okay. Rapid fire. George Hill, 3K. I definitely like him as a GPP play, as a punt. We talked about Detroit, love for Derrick Rose, Christian Wood, Mikhailo as a deep GPP play as well. Miami, we love Jimmy. Bam's definitely viable. We like Dragic. Dragic is a GPP play. Atlanta, if you're stacking Miami and like you want Butler, Bam, I wouldn't mind coming back with somebody like John Collins or Trae Young. Oh my God, yeah, but not for me tonight in terms of cash. Brooklyn, I don't hate Dinwiddie. I don't hate LeVert. Obviously, no Kyrie, because that dude is just an absolute anomaly and is just, I don't even want to get into it. But yeah, Dinwiddie and LeVert, I definitely don't hate his GPP plays. I don't think they're going to be carrying too much ownership in terms of cash, so I definitely don't hate either of them. Both of them projected at 34 minutes. You expect them to be the workhorses, which they have been with Kyrie off the court. Obviously, Philly, we have a lot of love for Philly. Pending that starting lineup, I think that's pretty big for a guy like Alec Burks. Charlotte, Matt, I don't know if you mentioned Rozier. I can't. I'm never going to get behind him. I'm never going to say that Terry Rozier is a good play. The 5.7 price tag.
I'm off him now.
Yeah, it looks like it's supposed to be a competitive game. So, like, I don't know, man. But I also don't even see Biyombo on Roto. Am I making that up? He's 4K against Charlotte. So if he starts, like, I definitely don't hate him as a GPP play just because Chicago is just absolutely decimated at the big position. So I'm interested to see if he gets to start. I'm assuming if he's good, he will. But like I said, unless I'm blind, I don't see him in. Yeah, he's just not in the player pool.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on. I guess if he doesn't start, then I'm completely off of him. But if Zeller or him starts, I definitely like one of those two, whoever starts in terms of GPPs. What else? Levine, I definitely love Levine as a GPP play tonight. Satoransky, Thad Young, Shaq Harrison, obviously a cash lock, 3K. He opens up a lot of value for you tonight. But those other three guys I alluded to are definitely good GPP plays. Memphis, I don't really have too much love for. I'm not going to throw out Dylan Brooks and torment you guys. He'll probably go for 40 tonight, so we'll backtrack and we'll follow up with that tomorrow. Sack, obviously, I love De'Aaron Fox tonight. Harry Giles is projected at 20 minutes. If he somehow gets to start, I definitely like him at 3,400. Coming off the bench, though, I'm not too high on him. He rates well on our sheet, but I don't really have too much interest in him tonight. Houston, obviously Harden, we talked about. Westbrook, I like both of them as GPP plays. I know Matt really likes Harden as a spend up spot tonight. I expect both those two to carry a bulk of the offense as they normally do. But more GPP plays for me. If I could go between like Harden and Giannis, that's too tough to call. So I don't think I'm going to go for either of them tonight in terms of cash. I don't think you need it. But I definitely like Covington for cash. McLemore, like Matt said, GPP play. House, all those guys are good GPP plays. They're all so cheap. It's just one of them will do well between House, Tucker, McLemore, and Rivers, and good luck trying to figure out who that is. And then Golden State, like I don't hate Wiggins' price tag at 7,600. He's been fairly productive since he got there. 1.24 fantasy points per minute. Rates out pretty decent on our sheet, so I definitely don't hate him in terms of GPPs. Should be a pretty high-paced game against Houston. And if they're going to stay competitive, look for him to try and be aggressive and score. Marquise Chris is definitely somebody I really like going up against, the small lineup of Houston. I don't know who's going to cover him. Tucker, I guess. I mean, he's very well at covering big centers. We've seen it in the past. So, but I definitely like Marquise Chris at 6,200, 1.3 fantasy points per minute. Gets a 2.6 usage bump with all those guys off the court like Steph, Clay, D'Lo, GR3, and Burks. So I know those are smaller guys. They don't really have anything to do with him at the center position, but he gets a little bit of a usage bump and is more productive with them off the court. So look for him to be aggressive tonight against Houston. Damian Lee, I mean, if he starts, I don't hate him at 5,200. And then Jordan Poole, Matt, I don't know if you talked about him, but at 4K, if he's getting the start, I definitely love him for cash.
I haven't talked about him. He's not a bad play either.
Yeah, 32 minutes right now he's projected at. Gets a little bit of a usage bump. 0.87 fantasy points per minute. A guy that can get very hot. He's a very good shooter when he can get hot. So, and for me, I mean, it's tough to say if he is blowout prone just because they have a bunch of G Leaguers now on their team, and Pargo and JTA and Norval and what have you, Kai Bowman. So I wouldn't say Jordan Poole is necessarily blowout proof, but like at 4K, if he is starting and getting 32 minutes, like he'll put up 6 threes. So if he can get 3 of those to fall, and then he'll take 10 plus shots 100%. So I definitely don't hate Jordan Poole for cash either.
All right, TJ's rapid fire is now over. Now it's time for TJ's cash locks because we have a lot of questions.
Okay. All right. So my cash locks right now are going to be Shaq Harrison. I think he's obvious. Embiid, I think he's obvious. Josh Richardson, especially if he starts, definitely a cash lock for me. And my fourth is going to be De'Aaron Fox.
Okay.
I really like De'Aaron Fox tonight. But I also, like I just said, Jordan Poole I really like. I like Covington. I like Jimmy Butler. I like Christian Wood. Derrick Rose isn't really garnering too much ownership, but I really like Derrick Rose. Mm-hmm. I really like Marquise Chris. I think there's a lot of good plays tonight. Deciphering which way you want to go is obviously the toughest part about DFS. But Shaq Harrison, Embiid, De'Aaron Fox, and Josh Richardson would be my 4 right now.
All right.
Barring any more,
Yeah. I'm going to come back with GPP plays because there's also a question about that. So like you just said, Derrick Rose, since he's carrying such low ownership, he is my favorite GPP play. Again, if they keep it close, tremendous upside with Derrick Rose. If they can keep it like to a couple points, man, I mean he could play the entire fourth quarter.
And that's the thing.
Shoot.
If they keep it close, it's because of him.
Yeah, exactly.
It's because of Christian Wood. It's because of Bruce Brown. Like, those are the guys.
So 17.41% ownership in GPPs is way too low for me. For Derrick Rose,
is he projected at 1% right now?
Set 17.
Oh God.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I was about to be all in on Derrick Rose.
I was just threw up on my laptop.
And then also Zach LaVine's carrying very low ownership, I guess because of his price tag. But like I said, guys, so much usage. 12.58% ownership. I love Zach LaVine tonight for GPPs. And then James Harden. The contrarian builds tonight are going to be stars and scrubs because there's so much mid-value options. So James Harden is definitely going to go overlooked just because, like I just said, he's really high up. I think he's the priciest guy in the slate. Him and Giannis, whichever one's. Okay, Giannis is. But James Harden's right there with him. So I do like James Harden for GPPs. Joel Embiid's not going to be GPP viable just because of his ownership. But I mean, you can the single entry. Dylan Brooks, 7.74%. Like TJ said, we don't really know what's going to go on with him. But if he does get hot, we know that he is capable of having a very high ceiling. So I'll go ahead and throw Dylan Brooks out there. And then Al Horford's going to be my last one here at 7% ownership. 5K is really cheap and against a really bad Brooklyn defensive team down low. And if he is coming off the bench, I might even like him a little bit more here. So Al Horford is going to be my last guy for GPPs. All right. So that pretty much covered the entire slate. Let's go ahead and go through these questions, TJ.
Yes. We're going to go through our Thrive picks, too.
Yeah, I'm going to go through my Thrive picks around 27.
Let's Thrive together. Like, we can do this together.
We can. We can learn together. But, guys, there's some free plays on Thrive, so you guys don't want to miss this.
There's 2 free plays that aren't getting taken off of the app. So make sure you go download, use the promo code DGFantasy. When you deposit $20, they give you a bonus $20. So you deposit $20, you have $40 to go with right now. We have 2 free picks right now that are guaranteed locks that will hit because they're still on the slate and they're both out.
And I think people are going to be afraid to play because, well, either people don't know what they're doing or people are going to be afraid to do it because they're. We'll go over in 10 minutes. So stay till the end, guys. Questions. B. Alisi has a mid-level power forward cash play. Just because of his ownership, I'm going to say no. But if he's your last spot and you already have a lot of high-end guys, sure, I don't hate him. I think he has a decent amount of upside. And like we were saying earlier, just him playing at power forward position. Well, you said he's not playing in the center position anymore, right? He's just playing power forward.
They have projected at the 5 right now, so I don't.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what they're doing.
But I mean, he's a good play. Regardless, 5.9 is not a bad price tag. Again, it's a pace of spot for Sacramento.
in cash. I'd rather pay down for Covington at 5.5.
Oh yeah. If you don't have him already.
But yeah, that's just me in terms of cash.
Best point guards on FanDuel, guys. We don't answer FanDuel questions, unfortunately, specific FanDuel questions, just because we don't know the price tags. But again, a lot of this does translate over to FanDuel. But if you're asking specific questions about FanDuel, we aren't able to answer those. I do apologize.
If Shaq Harrison has point guard eligibility on FanDuel, then that's your guy.
Yeah. Bad idea to play Jimmy Butler and Bam on the same roster. No, because they have such a high over-under, and they're priced down anyway. So, if it goes over 118, it could easily pay off for you.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
Yeah. GPP, Fox, Richardson, LeVert.
I thought you said a different word.
Fox, Richardson, LeVert, Covington, Adebayo, Rose, Shaq Harrison. I do like that. I like that a lot, actually. It's a nice GPP
the last
lineup.
one, Levine? You kind of stopped when you
were. Oh, sorry. Shaq Harrison and Embiid.
Embiid.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I like that lineup. A lot of high-owned guys, though, and maybe if you want to... Well, Adebayo's not going to be high-owned. No, I like that. And it has Derrick Rose in there. All right, Sano comes in here with a cash lineup here. Fox, Butler, Shaq, Covington, Embiid, Richardson, with 2 spots left for 6,500. Any suggestions? Do you want to research that real quick, TJ?
I can't say.
Okay.
But he's on the right path.
Okay, so it's funny, you guys. I just want to say this now that TJ and Sano have very similar lineups every night, so he's probably looking at the exact same thing, Sano. He doesn't want to give you advice because he'd probably give away the lineup here in the chat. But you're on the good track. GPP lineup you made: Rose, Harden, Shaq Harrison, Derrick Jones Jr., Embiid, Levine, Richardson, McLemore. I like that. That's not wild. I like McLemore. Like I said, very low owned, has tremendous upside with the over under. The only guy, Derrick Jones. I mean, we were talking about his minutes. He was projected 32 last night. Maybe if you had to make a pivot off of him, that'd be the only guy. FanDuel lineup for GPP. I'm just gonna pretend it's DraftKings. Harrison, Satoransky, Burks, Harden, Wiggins, Crowder. Okay, you're getting crazy here with some of these. I don't know about the pricing. Bam Adebayo, Covington, and Embiid. I will say that Crowder, Wiggins, and Burks, and even Satoransky are going to be very, very low owned. So if you want to shove another high owned guy in there, again, depending on the contest size. Let's see here. Sato, Levine, Shaq, PJ Tucker, Embiid, Westbrook, Richardson, Bruce Brown. If that's GPP, I like it. There's some low owned guys in there though. If it's cash, I would switch that around a little bit.
I hate that they took that power forward eligibility away from Marquise Chris.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, why do that to us?
Such a pain.
Rose and Levine or Satoransky and nothing. Oh, Rose and Levine and Satoransky or Westbrook. Rose and Levine or Satoransky. What? What are you laughing at?
You.
Why?
Laughing at you.
No,
okay.
It's
hilarious.
All right.
I'm about to make my... I'm going to do a single entry GPP with just all my crazy guys.
I'm going to say Rose and Levine. I think that has more upside. Those guys are the focal point of their offenses tonight. Just got here. Recap. That's starting to get old. So,
hey guys, just got in. Can you just go over everything you just went over real quick for me? Sorry.
Right, yeah. Like I said, I have the screen up for you guys that need a recap. I purposely leave it here. So at the top here, if you guys see the ownership, you can kind of gauge what our favorite plays are for cash and GPP.
I have an idea. Pick the guys that do well.
That's a very good strategy.
Is that rude? That is kind of rude.
You're on one tonight. What pay
Dude,
down?
first night back, I'm excited. I'm ready to dive into the slate, man.
Dude, I saw the clock. It hit 5 o'clock, dude, and I can't tell you how much excitement.
Yeah, and you texted me. You were like, "You ready to stream?" I was like,
I was ready.
You know, I played way too much League of Legends and tennis over these last 8 days that I'm all set. I'm all set. I'm ready for some basketball, and that's it. I'm ready for basketball.
What paydown center do you like for GPP? Zeller, Drummond? Question mark. Let's come back. Really paydown centers. We didn't really talk about that, so let's do that.
I said Zeller. I said
yeah, that's right. You did.
I like Zeller if he starts. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with, like, Biombo's not even in the player pool for Roto, so he's projected as a starter. So if Biombo starts, I definitely don't hate him at 4K against Chicago. I don't. So if whoever starts between him and Zeller, I like as a pay down option. And then Marquise, if you consider Marquise Chris 6,200 a pay down, then
no, I think he means pay down as in like value.
Yeah, I would go with one of those Charlotte bigs.
Giles, Tucker's down there, and Cornet are also down there.
Yeah, Giles. If he starts, if they go Bielisa at center, then I wouldn't mess with Giles.
Yeah. Thoughts on Christian Wood? We answered that a little bit earlier. Again, we do like Christian Wood, just not for cash. I like him. Well, I like him for cash because obviously, if you're going to keep it, he has tremendous upside. The upside's going to be there tonight. Christian Wood's definitely a good play. Carrying a decent amount of ownership too.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like Buddy Hield or Dragic tonight? Well, I haven't really looked at Dragic or not Dragic. Hield. Let me go back here. Hield. I think he's projected around 30 minutes.
Against Memphis. I think they're both in really good spots. I mean, Dragic coming off the bench against Atlanta, and then Hield's coming off the bench. He's actually grown into that role pretty well lately. So that's a tough one, but they're not really priced too comparatively. So I'm assuming you're talking fan.
Oh, that too.
Yeah, because they're $900. Hield's $900 more expensive. So if that's the case, I'd rather go with Dragic.
All right. We're gonna give another 2 minutes, and we're gonna switch over to Thrive Fantasy, and then
we get off because we got a lot to.
Am I still updating my Patreon after live? Yes, absolutely. That's the first thing I do when I get off. All right, so don't look at it right now. Look at it in about 5 minutes. I also send an update notification whenever I update it. So just be ready for that. Pool is starting. Yep, I don't see any more questions actually.
Okay.
All right, so let's go ahead. One more. GPP: Rose, Levine, Harrison, Horford, Biombo, Harden, Hield, Satoransky. That's GPP. You have a lot of low-owned guys in there. Maybe switch up a couple guys, but overall, those are good. Those are good plays in general. Again, like it's based on contest size. So, like if you play very, very low on guys, make sure you're playing a very high amount of people in your contest because you're trying to go for that top spot, and not too many people will have those guys. So, all right, let's go ahead and switch gears. Thrive Fantasy, guys. If you haven't already signed up, please do so. These are free picks. TJ, are you looking at your screen right now?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Am I looking at your ugly mug on YouTube? Yeah. That make you sad? Sorry. You know I didn't mean it.
All right. So we're going to update here. I'm going to update just real quick because I want to make sure these guys are still in the player pool because there's some free picks here. So, guys, if you look here, Reggie Jackson is not playing tonight. Hit the under of 4.5 assists. That's a free play.
Well, hold on. You sure you won't hit that?
Why?
Well, because think about it. If he's not playing, you think he won't get 4.5 assists?
Okay. And then we're going to scroll down here. Who else was it? Oh, it was Simmons. Hit the under.
Simmons. Yeah.
Hit the under. Those are your two free plays.
Yeah, guys. And then, so for those of you that are playing Thrive Fantasy tonight, I am. So, yeah, Matt said they have two free picks up here tonight. Reggie Jackson, under 4.5 assists, free pick. Ben Simmons, under 25.5 points and assists, free pick. Joel Embiid now at 40, his over-under of 40.5 of points, rebounds, and assists. I really like the over on that.
I was about to say that.
De'Aaron Fox, 28.5 points and assists. I really like the over on that. Russell Westbrook, points, rebounds, and assists. I like the over of 43.5. Draymond Green, 6.5 rebounds. I kind of like the over on that. And then Jimmy Butler, 1.5 steals. I like the over on that. So those are a couple freebies that I personally will be playing tonight, along with some other ones that I'll be picking.
I'll add to Zach LaVine, the over for 5.5 rebounds is 115 points. I think he could easily get that against Charlotte. So again, if you want to take a little bit of risk here, Zach LaVine, 5.5 total rebounds. James Harden, over 34.5 points. I think Westbrook and Harden should easily hit those overs tonight. And I'll add one more. You took my Embiid one. I think that's it, actually.
Well, we gave out a pretty good amount.
We just gave out more than half.
Yeah. 6.
Is Thrive available in all 50 states? I do not believe so, but it's available in the majority of the states. So I do apologize. I don't know the answer for that, but I think, like, I know for a fact I think Arizona is not allowed. So if you live in Arizona, I'm sorry. But everything else is up. I don't know. So with that being said, guys, DG Fantasy, if you haven't already signed up, okay? Because we're giving you free $20. And again, we just gave you some free picks and we gave you free squares. So we're going to be doing this at the end of the stream every single night going forward on the stream. Just, our research easily translates to this, so we're not really doing extra work. And again, guys, we know our research is top notch and we have the edge. So TJ, any last words before we get off?
Good luck tonight. Enjoy the first game back from the All-Star break. Hopefully there aren't too many guys with some cobwebs on them. And yeah, I hope somebody hits real big tonight. And let's make some money. Excited basketball's back.
Yeah, definitely. And there's going to be a lot of people playing tonight. A lot of casuals, just because the NBA is back. So a lot of people think that they can get out of this funk, but we're just going to stop them again. So we're going to get all those contests right. I'm going to see a lot of Daily Grind Fantasy logos in all these contests. And yeah, so guys, have a great Thursday night and let's cash.
Love you.